Good morning, New Eden! Today is February 27th, 2022, and this is the Federation Frontline Report, a podcast where we interview the players of EVE Online and go over faction warfare news. I'm your host, Frozen Fallout, and my co-host is Samson.
Good morning, New Eden. And today we are interviewing a very special guest, Mr. Graty, member of the Universalis Imperium and the Bastion Alliance. Mr. Graty, how are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
How's space treating you these days?
Pretty good. Not too happy with the price of capitals right now, but other than that, good times.
So you didn't buy up a bunch of capitals before the change happened. You still trying to get your capitals?
I have what I had before the price went up, but I was hoping to get some new ones.
Yeah. I sold a Nyx quite 6 months or a year before all that crazy stuff happened. But I did own an Nyx at some point. That was really nice. So yeah, there's crazy fluctuations in that area of the game right now. But what was it that kind of got you into EVE Online in the first place? And when was that?
About 2007 or 2008 when I was in college. A friend of mine told me about it, and I'm really into space in general, real world stuff, and this game seemed like right up my alley. I also love the fact that there really isn't an end to the game.
Yeah, that's the I like the how alive the universe feels with the massive amount of news, as I build like a news podcast myself. But just the amount of player made podcasts on top of like shows and stuff that have been made and news organizations that are out there, and then like the massive amount of just player things that are happening. Like the news isn't just reporting on. Yeah,
is insane.
That is crazy. So did you do any like MMORPGs before you got into EVE Online?
Yeah, I did a little while, and I don't remember the name of another one, but didn't enjoy them.
Yeah, I played like to level 20 or level like 30, I think, and I was like really happy at level 29 doing a lot of PvP, and then I hit level 30 and I was like, fuck PvP.
Fuck yeah, PvP. No,
Another reason I like EVE is in WoW you're kind of set. You pick a class, you might be able to do two things, and even your secondary stuff, you pick a mining and then armor crafting. If you try to reset that or do something else, it resets you to 0.
Yeah.
EVE, you can do it all.
You can do it all if you got the time, man. Like EVE, that's one of the biggest differences with EVE and other MMOs is the versatility, I think.
Yeah, the idea that the skill tree only going up at level 5, but new skills opening up, at certain levels, opening up new skills for you. But there is only a set amount of skills in EVE Online in the end, and they only go up to 5. And you can pretty much be a jack of all trades and start and focus in one area and be really but there is so much in EVE. There is really hard to be a true jack of all trades. Frozen Fallout's my character that probably is the most jack of all tradey. So tell us a little bit more though about how you got into EVE. You kind of heard about it. You like this idea of like a never-ending story of EVE. So what was the event that kind of got you to stick with EVE?
So, and this was before I made Mr. Graty. I was a Mimitar character. My ignorance of the game, I didn't know you could fly other races when I first started and stuff like that. And so I was just messing around, just testing it out. And I was in the starter system for Mimitar, and just the guy comes in the system and he starts like blasting in local, like, who wants to go on a fleet? And I'm like, all right, well, cool. So he organized over 200, it was close to 250 newbies in the corvettes, newbie frigates back then. He told us how to swap, dock up twice at a different station so you could put 2 guns on it. He passed out. I believe they were like the civilian scramblers that you
Okay.
get in the starter missions. So we all had one of those, and then he showed us how to set a destination, and we just drilled straight into nullsec. The first jump into low, I remember there was 2 cruisers on the gate,
Oh
and we
no.
just shredded them. Like they started
Yeah.
tackling, and we just went right through them, and they killed a few of us, but nowhere near enough. And then we
Yeah,
just
no.
kept going and going. I don't know where we ended up. I know we were in nullsec. I know they dropped destroyers on us. They dropped like 100-man destroyer gang, and we had lost, attrition along the way,
Mhm.
and that was the end of it. But the guy had warned us when we went into it that we would die. Don't bring anything. The ships are free. Explained the pods, whole thing. Took us out there, and yeah, that was the selling point. That was the turning point of like, I'm definitely gonna do this.
Nice.
So since then, what was the appeal of joining up with Bastion and the current corporation? How long have you been part of Bastion? And
Actually, I am not sure how long I've been part of Bastion. A long, long time. I will say that I remade a character. I made this character, Mr. Graty, because I saw an advertisement for a group, and they were a bounty hunting group, and everything in their bounty hunting group was based off of the slap chop. So you had to have a name related to it, and you had to say stuff related to it. And
Sorry.
oh yeah, it gets better. So I just pulled up a video of Slap Chop, and one of the things they sold, like the free add-on, was the Grady, which was a little grater they had. So I named my character Mr. Grady. Um, but the funny thing was, by the
I
time,
love my nuts.
yep, that guy. By the time I, by the time I had got my stuff together, I had a decent enough PC to play, or felt comfortable playing PvP. And I was out of college. That group disbanded. So I named myself Mr. Grady, and they were gone, and I stuck with it ever since.
Yeah, you might as well at that point. I mean, that's
that's
awesome.
perfect. So, were you involved in the Great Wars that have been taking place over the span of EV? What was the year that you said that you got involved?
I'm actually trying to look it up. I'm trying to see how long I've been a member of Bastion.
Oh, I could look that up for you. Actually, I already pulled
I
you
got
up.
it. Employment history. 2013.
There you go.
2013. So that would
Yeah.
be. I mean, you were
9
were you
years.
in the north at all with the Imperium
Isle of the
before?
Silent.
Yeah, or yeah, like were you up in the whole like when they were the Clusterfuck Coalition? That would
Yes.
be definitely around that time.
Yep. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
part of the CFC. It was a good time. I will say this. I was gonna kind of save it to the end, but it's true what they say. Goons are your best friend or your worst enemy. It's one side or the other, and I have been with them, like I said, since 2013, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, I have a lot of love for goons. I've been to a lot of their parties because I
I was
lived
gonna say
in.
you live with them.
So yeah, we go out and party a lot. And I haven't done anything recently. There hasn't been anything recently that's been going on because there's still fucking craziness in the world. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to more parties and just. I have the one thing though is I liked the life of Lowsec so much. It's just been trying to build up something and mess around with faction warfare type stuff. But you found a home out in 0.0. So, and you said you're kind of like a jack of all trades, right? You kind of do a lot of different things PvE style, but you also do a lot of like fleet combat. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
So, is there any like have you been involved in any of the major battles that have happened throughout Eve, or do you kind of stick to the smaller gang? Because there's definitely a gradient of what kind of fleets that you kind of get involved in. So do you prefer the like gigantic 15-hour long slugfest between thousands of players, or are you focused on more of the smaller gang type kind of stuff?
as long as I've got the time to do it. I love them all, but I was so mad at, I don't remember what fight it was, but earlier in the war, I was at work when the ping went out, and by the time I made it home, it was over. I did manage to get to the M2 battle. I had a super carrier ready to go because we were going to stage, and unfortunately, by the time I got home, they had already jumped. So I just grabbed, I don't remember what, battleship or something, and rolled that into the fight instead.
Oh, very nice. So were you there for all the sieging then and everything that was going on when the goons basically were down to just one section? What was it like having like the entirety of Eve like smashing on your doorstep, but knowing that like your walls are holding? Can you give me like just a idea of what it felt like during that time to you?
I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, but knowing that there was always a battle next door was pretty exciting. And we just always had content.
Yeah,
it'd wear on you a bit.
That's one thing I heard, was that there's a lot of content that was just like right on your doorstep, which is one of the reasons why I like low sec life. Is there's always content. Like right now we've got two of our well-known hated
arch nemesis.
Our
hated enemies are now in our home system. Yes.
That's why we live.
I don't. For the record, I don't hate Diana Kim.
I respect. I have a lot of respect.
I don't know about all that, but I'm just saying.
I don't hate. But yeah, so what are your favorite activities to kind of partake in, though? Is it PvP, or is there other things in EVE that you find really appealing that kind of opens up? Like, do you do any hacking or anything like that?
Yeah, again, I do it all. Mining is really cathartic. It's pretty relaxing to go do that. I do the hacking. I do just ratting in general. I really don't do anything industrial-wise. But I mean, I do all that stuff so I can buy ships to go PvP in the end.
Yes. Nice. Yes. And PvP is love. PvP is life for me. So I can appreciate that.
And yeah, I can fly literally every ship in the game, almost with max skills, with a few exceptions, except the Titans, Edencom, and the Triglavians, which I'm working on the Triglavians now.
Oh, dude, you're gonna have some fucking fun, man. I've had a lot of fun in my Kiki. Still figuring out the Vedmak, but the Kiki is fun.
They're interesting ships, that's for sure.
So have you ever, during your time of going out and PvP and stuff, have you guys ever made your way over to faction warfare space, or has it mainly always been 0.0 that you've kind of hung out in?
I mean, we've rolled through it. We take out random fleets with a generally known destination by the FC that will roll into a system, and it might be faction warfare, and sometimes people come out to greet us, and sometimes they don't. So it's never intentionally faction warfare.
Okay, so it's much more just going out looking for fights in low sec, and
Pirates.
Of course faction warfare has a lot of fights going on. So do you have any opinion on faction warfare? Are you aware of it in the sense of what it is, or is it just kind of like a thing that doesn't really, because it doesn't really affect 0.0? So does anybody talk about faction warfare that you know of?
Yeah, they talk about it. I think it's a good aspect of the game to have. You need options, because not everybody wants to do the same thing. And again, that goes back to the diversity of the game itself. You can go do whatever you want.
Exactly, and that's one of the things I love about EVE, is the ability to do whatever I want. And granted, I want to kill, so that's what I do. But like you said, to what you said earlier, I mean, I have alts that ship stuff in for me, and have an alt logi, to solo gate camp, and it's a beautiful game.
Have you have you gotten into like solo aspect of PvP, or are you more group oriented PvP only?
I have dabbled in it a few times. I tend to die a lot.
I do. I die a lot in solo PvP.
I saw a really nice Hecate fit, and I started rolling around in that, and it's a great brawling ship. Paper thin, but it can put out some stupid DPS. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, I was rolling around trying to mess with a guy, and I ran into a fleet of others, and yeah, it didn't last long.
Yeah,
Oh
that's the
yeah.
one thing that like traveling and running into the big fleets can be really dangerous. I don't know. I seem to get away with a lot of not running into that lately. But I feel like there's
Well,
less big
if,
fleets that are flying around in
yeah,
Losec
that's
these
true.
days.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I will say it was really funny. The guy I was chasing actually died to the fleet I ran into that killed me as well. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
sometimes
always
we're the dicks that are actually out there with our
sometimes.
15 men. Every Wednesday, we're the dicks.
Every
that's out
Wednesday we're
there.
dick with 10 Gnostises on the gates. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd highly suggest coming on out if you're looking for some fun places to find some good faction warfare solo fights and stuff. Is you don't need to be in faction warfare. Just come on out and do the plexing.
It is a good place
fight.
to learn solo, that's for sure.
Because like you don't do the plexing, but people are. So you're just hunting all these plexers, and
Yeah. Get yourself in a worm and head to a novice. Someone will come in and die on you. You could be AFK. All you have to do is have some augmented hornets and set them to aggressive, and then someone will come in and they'll die on it because that's what they do.
Nice.
In a novice, because the worm is the king of the novice, because the novice only allows Tech 1 and faction ships.
Yep, Tech 1 and faction frigates. So yeah, being able to control that, and then knowing that you have like D-scan, that you can see what's going on, what's going to be coming in, and stuff like that can be really helpful.
Yeah, well, I figured he already knew that stuff. That's the basics.
Well, it's 0.0 is very. I've found that it's fun to fight new 0.0 like people that are good at the game but are new to faction warfare area, and there's all these little quirks and these little
it is
things
different. Yeah, that's true.
Trip you up. Like you can't warp to somebody on the outside of a plex. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I will say that there's a lot of people in fleet that have no clue what they're doing. They are an F1 monkey, and it's they told me to shoot, I shoot. They have no idea how D-scan works or any of that stuff. There are those out there.
Oh yeah, that was me for a long
F1 monkey.
time. I was an F1 monkey for a long time.
I was last year, and then Frozen took me under his wing, and now I'm like slightly decent at PvP.
I can murder things sometimes. So.
But you should go ahead.
I wouldn't say I'm an F1 monkey because I dabble in everything. So I've got max skills for boosting, E-War, Logi, all that stuff. So that takes a little more than just pushing F1.
Oh yeah.
So there's that aspect of it too.
It is nice to be in a fleet though, where you can just chill out and just wait to.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say, man. Like on Wednesday nights, if you're interested, I think it's what time is it? Frozen? It's 0200 Eve time.
Yeah, it's like 0200, somewhere around there. 5 o'clock Central Time.
5 o'clock Central Time. And we go out, and it depends on the mood. This last time, which we'll talk about later in the show, was all just gate camping, like just chill gate camping. I was also doing giveaways for the first time, so it's easier for me to FC a gate camp than to do fleet fights and shit while we're giving away stuff. But it's a lot of fun. We always get kills. Last Wednesday, though, I will say it was the first time we didn't lose anybody, which I was not okay with. We should have lost somebody. Like somebody should have died.
Very weird.
It felt wrong. Someone always dies in my fleets, but we didn't, and we got a lot of kills. So, yeah, you're welcome to join us at any time.
Thank you.
So before we move on to the news, do you have any shout-outs that you'd like to give?
Just to my brothers in the Bastion and Imperium. It's great flying with them, and hope we wreak more havoc on the universe.
Does the Bastion have a website?
I know we have our site, but I don't know if there's a public one.
Yeah, if there's any public stuff, but I'll link the kill board, and it's easy enough to find, you know, there's plenty of corporations to check out, and you know, there's always opportunities depending on who you are and what you're doing in EVE Online. So, but yeah, definitely a great group. I've heard lots of great things about the Bastion. But yeah, let's go ahead and move it on over to the news section here. So there's been a new dev blog that came out, the NPE update, Teach a Man to Fish. So do you know anything about this? Have you read this dev blog at all, Mr. Graty? Graty. Yeah, I can't say words.
Yeah, I've looked into it. I do mine, so it's one of those things that I was paying attention to, and I was definitely one of the people that were like, oh, those, when there was the shooting the tower in Jita, the statue in Jita, when those first updates came out,
yeah,
there was some real bad shit. Those original ones were real rough. So yeah, they made a lot of improvements to it. I think it makes sense what they've done. There's a few things like, I don't know how familiar you guys are with mining, but you know, they expanded the booster ships to the Porpoise as well a while ago. They expanded compression to the Porpoise as well, and the Orca, because it only used to be the Rorqual. But they only gave the Porpoise asteroid and ice, I believe. And so it's going to be not as useful.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't personally mine. I don't think frozen mines either. So
yeah, so you're the expert here, actually.
You're the expert. But if you want frozen real quick, I could read some of this update, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, let's see. What do we got here?
So yeah, it's mining demystified, teach a man to fish. New capsules are a vital part of life in New Eden. As part of the ongoing efforts to improve the new player experience, we launched a revamped version of the NPE program back in September, and it's about to receive a further update, so which is what's happening now. Upon starting EVE, new players experience a story-driven adventure in which they attempt to identify the attacker who disrupted their capsular training program. Oh yeah, that's right. This is the mining tutorial, right? Which you don't really do any mining tutorials when you start the game, I don't think, before. In this latest update, a new chapter of the story draws new players towards a mysterious mining site where they'll learn the basics of mining and discover the economic opportunities that underpin life in New Eden, which is true. That's one thing I want to point out about mining. It is fucking essential. I personally find it boring as shit, and I don't mind, but I have great respect for those that do, especially
it's essential,
Red.
Man.
The guys that Tacky, the guys that actually provide me with shit, make me ships and stuff like that. It's amazing, and I want to shout out to them really quick. Anyways, by engaging with this adventure, players will learn essential skills to help them earn an income, become more invested in the world of EVE Online, and feel excited to embark upon their journey through the stars. You can test these work-in-progress changes yourself on the Singularity and enjoy the life experience on Tranquility, March 8th. So it's currently live, which on the test server Singularity, which I believe Grady mentioned before the show, and March 8th it will be live. And there's a bunch of stuff here. It's like details of what the missions and stuff is. But I think that's pretty cool that they're adding that. Now, is it? Well, I guess the tutorials in EVE aren't mandatory, right? Like you can just like skip them, or do you have to actually do them?
I believe you can skip them, from my understanding.
Okay. Well, so there's that option. So it's not like they're forcing anybody to do it. But I feel like if I had started now, I would have done all of the tutorials anyways. But
yeah, they're much better now than when they were.
Grady, how do you feel about this new update with the whole introduction to mining?
I think that is a great idea. There was some mining in the original tutorial, but it was like, hey, go out and get a little bit of this and then build some ammo, and that was it. This sounds like it's actually going to be pretty in-depth.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's I like that.
I really like it when EVE tries to structure the whole, because like one of the things that always gets me with like MMORPGs is it's always this like, you're this great warrior that's going to save the universe. Now embark on the most epic journey there is. And it's
so is everybody else.
It's like everybody is doing that. I like how EVE feels much more like There
It's
isn't.
different.
It's not like they bring you into the universe and are like, "You are the chosen one." No, they're just like,
No,
"You're
like
some
you
rich
can, like
ass."
you can make yourself the chosen one if you put the effort in. If you do the thing, you can if that's what you want to be, you could do that. But like, maybe you just want to mine and provide people with ships and stuff, and or whatever. Maybe you just want to explore. Yes, I will kill you, but that's besides the point. Like if you're in one of the systems I'm in, I will kill you, but like, either make friends with me or get away from me, get around it. Like everything is it's so fluid. It's just it's a great, and the meta is nuts. We're doing a podcast, not just a podcast about Eve. We're doing a podcast that's focused on faction warfare in Eve. That's very specific. And there are 15 people watching us right now. So like Eve is crazy, man. It's awesome and I love it.
It's a very different universe for sure, and it's something I enjoy quite a bit. Speaking of faction warfare, there isn't any actual big news in the faction warfare area.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've been trying to get CCP to come on, but they've been hinting that there might be some big events going on later.
Yeah, well,
they're not gonna come on now.
It's called Fan Fest?
Fan Fest probably will have some good
soon.
info
It's very soon, and yeah, basically CCP kind of hinted to us that they don't have anything to say about faction warfare right now, but they might.
Yeah,
I think that's the impression I got from you. So
it was,
but, I mean,
that's the
it sounded like they
impression.
want to come on, so we will probably have them on the show. And you've already interviewed.
I've
CCP
interviewed
before.
CCP
Yeah.
Swift. That was a really fun
Yeah.
interview. But yeah, it sounds like they don't want to talk about faction warfare right now. But that kind of either A, they're gonna get rid of it, which is like, well, that sucks. We'll figure out something to do.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out if that happens.
But or they're gonna do something. I don't think they're gonna get rid of it though. But yeah, let's move on to Wednesday night here. So
Wednesday night. So this last fleet, geez, how many people did we have in the fleet at any given time? It was over 10, I think. We had our epic Logi at our side. It was all Gnostices. I said let's do the standard start on the local gate near staging, and we'll just do some gate camping while we gather the fleet. And then it just kind of got really big, and I was like, okay, well, I'm doing giveaways on my channel, which is taking some of my time, and this is the biggest fleet that I've ever FC'd, which is nothing, right, compared to anything Mr. Graty has been in, right? Like I've been in, like, I think this was like 15 people or whatever. For me, that's huge because I like small gang stuff. But I was like, we'll just keep gate camping. We just kept gate camping, and we ended up getting a lot of kills. We first started with this poor Heron that showed up. I believe I blapped it off the field. Jorian was able to actually get on there. Oh no, actually Jorian blapped it off the field. Wow, that's unusual to see someone else with top damage on in my fleets. Shout out to Jorian for that. But that thing got blapped, and not everybody got to be on the kill. And then Anarius came through, which I think had just enough tank so that everybody could get on the kill before it died and dropped. Didn't even drop large. They got destroyed. Large crates of Howrol dryweed.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I tried contacting that person.
Yeah.
I talked to them. I was like,
that poor bastard.
Poor guy. What happened?
They almost. Oh, this was the guy that almost brought his Praxis. I think,
no,
to us.
Yeah. I don't think I talked to this guy.
Man, he didn't bring the Praxis. If he brought his Praxis, it would have been amazing, but he didn't bring it. And then we caught a Cormorant still on in Evangir on the Charm Gate, and then a Catalyst. But then we moved to Hades, and we were on both sides of the gate, and it was just me and Johnny, I believe, on the other side here, in his invincible Maulus. And we caught this retribution, and you guys were still stuck on the other side of the gate.
I was so pissed. I was like, no, that's not how I was like, kill.
The retributions are a nice kill. I don't get to kill them very often because they're pretty tanky. And then we moved to a boon. We caught a quick Amar. No, actually not Amar. It's a squid state, Caldari state Amar ship, obviously coercer, which was a pretty decent kill. He was worth 20 mil. Not bad. But was it the same guy? Yeah, his pod was worth it. 30 mil because it had a Lancer, small energy, and Ephir gunslinger motion prediction. Whoops to that. Then we caught a Kestrel, and then we moved to Nissawa, and we caught this nice, tasty little Fed Navy. Fed Navies are always a nice kill.
Yeah, it was no fleet fights. There was no nobody tried jumping us.
No fleet fights.
Nobody
we didn't get well. I do want to point
numbers.
one thing out though. We did go to Tama. Actually, what is this? I don't even know what this is.
We did decline.
Oh, you caught it in Cursus. Yeah. So we were gonna do the nerve gate, but then a Sino showed up, and I don't know why I gave the command to leave. Maybe it was because there was just so many people in the fleet, so many quote unquote. But we left and we moved on, and that was pretty much it for that night. But it was good. We had a lot of kills. Nothing really huge. Absolutely everything that came through any of the gates that we were on got completely disintegrated with the amount of DPS that we had, and the Logi keeping the gate guns off us. But yeah, Wednesday night was much chiller, I think, than previous nights, which was good for me because I had missed the week before. So
yeah. No, it was a really, really great fleet it was relaxing, and that's what a lot of the stuff that I like is just when you're fleet camping, out with the boys, just having a regular fleet that you're going to be doing.
And your wife
looking for, yeah. And
I mean, she's one of the boys,
yep.
Honestly.
But yeah, it's been great. But we did have a really epic battle just before the show started. Actually,
good morning, Canuck Down Under. But yes, we did. We indeed did. And it's actually probably a little bit more impressive than what we were just talking about because it was just Frozen and I. He was in a stabber, I was in a caracal, a rapid light caracal, and he in it's an arty kitey.
No, it
stabber.
Is a autocannon. Yep.
Okay. 40, it's a kitey autocannon. And we engaged this fleet here. Outside of it, it was outside of a plex, wasn't it?
Yep. So yeah, it was outside the plex. We were burning away
in Tama.
A little bit in Tama.
Yeah.
And so the first one, what was it? It was the
Slicer.
The Slicer. So Imperial Navy Slicer finds us. He's calls his boys in. He goes to grab tackle on us.
Let's get these fuckers.
And whoop, he just disappears.
I fucking this guy right here. You killed him. No, you killed that first guy instantly. And then the second guy.
So there's a whole fleet of them now that land on top of us, and so we just start opening up. We killed
4
that one.
Slicers, 2 slashers.
I soloed a slasher, killed a slasher.
You soloed one of the slashers,
and then helped you out. Finished off the last guy. I think then you were starting to reload.
Yes, at one point I think you soloed that guy when I was reloading. I had to fucking reload in the middle of the fight. Around here, I think around the slasher death, and then after reloading, I was able to take out. Well, with the help of Frozen, we took out. You're just gonna see Gwen as top damage in a lot of these things because she does a lot of damage. But yeah, because the light missiles are no fucking joke against these guys. We just took out 4 slicers and 2 slashers, between us, and I had 22% hull. They almost killed me. They were okay, we need to get this fucking DPS off the field because the caracal was hurting bad. I've never in my history of PvPing in a caracal had to reload twice in a single battle
while getting pounded on by everything.
Yeah.
And then we did re-engage them, and we killed their buster,
burst.
Their burst.
We killed the burst, but it was a little late because
we didn't chain
FC
them out.
told us to focus on something else.
Yeah. We needed to just
so we
burn
lost
that guy down.
They killed us, but we Wait, what the fuck? Who got this slicer? Oh, you were on the slide. Okay, so here's a couple. So here's a couple of things that happened. Right, we killed the burst. I shot at both of these firetails, and I think Frozen shot at this slicer, and then my buddies in the PvP recovery chat in Tama finished them off. So we ended up getting on another slicer kill and 2 firetails that we were. Oh, I forgot to mention these 2 firetails were in this battle. They were, or at least one of them, but it got away with nothing. He had no.
Yeah, it was like 7-on-1 or no 7-on-2.
Yeah,
and we came out on top, and then we got fucking slaughtered, and then
we switched. Yeah, we got slaughtered, but we got these kills that afterwards. They were like icing on top, and then after that, we went out with just an Atron and a Bed Navy, and we got this dude in his Dragoon, and then in his Algos. That was fun.
Yeah, no, that was a blast just before getting on the
Literally.
show here.
I mean, it was an Atron, and I had blasters.
Let's take a look at Notoras though. Is there anything cool been happening in Notoras lately?
I don't know.
It's top of the kill board.
And Akanteshi, but it's tied between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different people. I honestly haven't been in Notoras for a while.
Steve is there. Good. We got
But
representation still.
Steve is up there. Nice, Steve. But yeah,
It's been quieter there. Like 16 kills over the last.
No huge
7
kills right now.
days.
It's a little quiet in Toros. Most
Piercer.
recently,
Oh, Urza.
couple of slashers.
What happened to Urza? Who took him down?
Red loses a procure there daily. Don't worry about it. The only reason he's on the top right now is because there's nothing that's more expensive. Was it a procure? No, it was a retriever or a procure. I killed one on the gate that was worth almost $1 billion, but that was a couple weeks ago, so it's not in this one. But Notoras is the shining jewel of Black Raz, and y'all should visit it. Ooh.
And shoot people there. We'll talk about
Did it have the ore strip miners on it? The billion-isk one?
No.
Yeah, it did. Wait, okay. Well, he asked the question, so now I got to look it up. All I got to do is go to
there was,
me.
You did capture somebody who had
Lord. Here, I'll show you really quick. It's actually on my top. No, it's not on my top, is it? Because it's not. But gosh, what day was that? I think it's one more back, and then I'll find it. Yeah.
I've killed too many people. Is that it?
Right here. Yeah, it has 2 ore strip miners on it.
Yeah, 816 million is kill.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful murder in the tortoise. I'm very happy. Always brightens up the kill board when you have that happen. So
Notoras is the jewel of Black Rise, and I'm anxiously awaiting these kills to go up a little bit higher. I'll go back there and make some more noise. I'll reveal that later on the next show, maybe, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it on up here. There is no, unless there's any news from chat, anybody that's got any news here, but I think we're gonna mosey our way on over. It's been kind of quiet in faction warfare, just minor flipping systems here and there, but no news out of CCP, no major changes. Galente still trying to fight out of the pocket of Essence pretty much, and making small strides in other areas, and back and forth fight right now. It's not someday we'll get T2 for longer than like 6 days. It would be great.
Yeah,
not that it really matters. I'm just here to punch people in the face, so that's why we live.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I love how much death faction warfare provides for me.
But yeah, thank you all so much for listening and watching. If you're interested in joining us, joining up with the war effort, go ahead and throw in an application to Golden Age Stories in-game. Alt Spies, welcome. Just come on out. We're just having fun. Get a alpha.
Spies are great. We love Spies.
It's great. It's fine. And if you didn't catch us live on Twitch, we are doing it, or our live Twitch show on Sundays every 2300 Eve time. That's 5 p.m. Central Time. You can listen to us on our podcast, the Federation Frontline Report. You can find that on Spotify, iTunes. We're on YouTube, and Spotify and a few other places. We now have the video version that also converts over to an audio version with the platform that I use with Anchor.
Oh, nice.
So it's really, yeah. So now the Spotify has actually a visual podcast version of ours. So it's got the video in there. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
If you have any news for us that you want us to talk about on the show, any after action reports, any cool things, we can give you 100 to 10 million to 100 million ISK, depending on the report quality and whether we get it on the show or not.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be faction warfare related. It can just be an awesome battle that you thought was cool. We prefer
talked
faction
about how
warfare
Snuff
related.
got dumped.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it involves fucking Snuff, then sure, yeah, absolutely.
We always want
We're
to hear
down.
about how they're getting dunked on.
Yeah.
Don't report any of the good. I get if Snuff reports in and wants to talk about all their victories. I guess maybe we'll see.
Snuff ain't. They don't like us.
They don't
Frozen.
like
They're not
us. They
gonna-
don't want us.
They really don't like us. So they're not gonna be friends with us.
Well, no, they're just gonna. I could see them trying to like use us as their propaganda. This is.
Yeah,
this-
you can try.
But that's what we're basically asking. We're just the mouthpiece of propaganda out there. Just send us shit because we want to talk about it. Anyways, you can hit me up in game Frozen Fallout. You can also email us at the Federation Frontline Report at gmail.com. Get all that stuff on the show notes.
And Gwenevic Kenyon in game appreciates hate mail, so
Oh yeah,
send it on over to me.
that's absolutely. All
I
right,
got
guys.
a lot of Russian hate mail lately.
And Mr. Grady, thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you for being on the show.
It was great to hear the stories of 0.0, and always glad to hear about how somebody just gets sucked into the game by an insanely weird thing like 250 fucking newbie frigates
Corvettes.
going out and just murdering shit.
Thank you. It's good to be here.